Hi everyone, I'm Joe, and today I'm going to be talking about everything that I watched at the cinema in July 2017. Now, July was a really good month for the cinema. I saw 4 things in total. This is partially due to the fact that I now have a unlimited card for the cinema. This basically is a card where you can either pay monthly or pay in advance. In my case, I've paid for it in advance. I also got a discount paying for it in advance as well, which was handy. And for the next year, up until the end of July 2018, I'll just go into the cinema, swipe this, and essentially the cinema is already paid for. I mean, drinks are not free, although I do get a discount on them as well. And I'll just go in and watch whatever. This does mean, however, that I will be watching an awful lot more films in the next 12 months. And indeed, this cinema video will now probably be monthly. Now because frankly I am going to be seeing a lot of films, because it's kind of easier to see a film when I've already basically paid for it in advance. I have to see 24 films in the next 12 months for this card to actually pay for itself. After that, and then actually benefiting from it greatly. So it works out. In fact, seeing 24 films in a year for me isn't hard anyway, because I normally do that, which is what I bought it for. Anyway, enough about that. I'll now talk about the films, of which there are 4. The first film is SpiderMan Homecoming. This stars Tom Holland as Spider-Man. It stars Michael Keaton as Vulture. Robert Downey Jr. appears as Iron Man again. Obviously, this is now linking up to the Avengers. And it is directed by John Watts. Now, this was a really fun Marvel film. I really enjoyed this immensely. Now, all the previous Spider-Man film, the 3 with Toby Stephens, and indeed the 2 Incredible Spider-Man film, they were done by Sony, licensed out by Marvel, and they couldn't link in with the Marvel Universe. Well, the original Toby Stephens ones was before, obviously, the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe started up anyway, so they don't count. But this now links directly to it, and hence Robert Downey Jr. in it as Iron Man, because he is the bridge between the films. And like I said, I really enjoyed this. Tom Holland does a really good job as Spider-Man. He obviously plays a very young Spider-Man. He's like 17, maybe 18 at most. At the end of high school in America. And that transition between him being a normal kid and obviously him finding, himself as a person, but also trying to be this sort of superhero and on the same sort of lines as the Avengers, which he admires them, and obviously in Civil War he obviously actually worked with them briefly. He really likes, but trying to find this balance between being just normal school kid and being a sort of superhero is really hard for him. But he does a really good job at portraying this transition, because it's both amusing at times, but quite dark at times as well. And the way he interacts with both his schoolmates and indeed the other, like Tony Stark, for instance, and the other sort of superhero elements, for instance, the main bad guy being Michael Keaton and Vulture, is interesting. Michael Keaton does do the role really well as well, because he's just fantastic in this role, because he's both doing it for good reason, but he's still not doing it right, and it's just a great role. And the thing about this film, frankly, is great, and it's building up into the Avengers Infinity War, which is next year, and then whatever the other Avengers film is going to be in 2019, which was originally going to be obviously Avengers Infinity War Part 2, but now they've made it into its own separate, like, 4th Avengers film or something. I'm not really sure yet. Nobody's. But yeah, this was a really good film and well worth watching. The next film that I watched almost entirely because of the card that I've got. Basically, I can just go and take a chance on things that I wouldn't otherwise watch. And this was at the end of its life. This is barely on the cinema now. It might not even be out now. And that is Baby Driver. This stars Ansel Elgort. I think I'm pronouncing that name correctly. It stars Lily James, John Hamm, and it is directed by Edgar Wright, and it was also written by Edgar Wright as well. Frankly, the whole film is essentially a sort of a bank heist movie, and a getaway driver. Angel Enslor plays the baby of the title, and he He's a getaway driver. He's been doing it for years. He had an accident when he was younger, which basically means he's got an issue with his hearing, and he's always listening to music. And indeed, that is the focus of this film. He's doing these really advanced driving through the streets, getaway driving, doing spins and all sorts of things when people are firing guns off and all sorts of other things. And the whole time he's got his own personal soundtrack, because it's going, which, frankly, whilst you could say, yes, it's a little bit gimmicky, and frankly, I have to agree, it is in a way. It's so well made, and so sort of smoothly made as well, that frankly, you can't help enjoying it. It's just a fun, simple film to watch, but it's just made with such sort of enthusiasm. You can tell the cast are frankly enjoying themselves immensely when doing these roles. All the roles are a little bit stereotypical, but the fun, and you can tell the cast were enjoying the hell out of themselves, frankly. And for that, I would recommend this film, although at this point, you might struggle to see it now, because it was at the end of its run, frankly, when I saw it a few weeks back, so I probably can't see it now, sadly. The next film that I watched was War for the Planet of the Apes. This stars Andy Serkis as Caesar, the recurring character from the previous two films. It also has Woody Harrelson as the sort of human military guy who is obsessed with wiping out all the advanced apes that are now in the world. It also has Steve Zahn doing the voice for Bad Ape, which is this really mad sort of odd ape that appears who can also talk like Caesar. I'll go into that in a minute. And it is directed by Matt Reeves. Now this is the third of the new Planet of the Apes films, and it's indeed the third in the Apes trilogy. There may be more films in the future. Personally, I hope that if there is more Apes films, they are not going to be related to this. This is a closed trilogy, and they have finished this trilogy now, but with the way it ended. So if they make more films, I greatly hope they just leave this well alone and do something else in this, world of the Planet of the Apes away from this, because if they did, it'd just be silly, frankly, at this point, I think. And I think it would be sort of spoil the idea a little bit. But, it's Hollywood, though. They do have a habit of making films just for the hell of it, just because they might cash in on or something. We'll see. Anyway, on about the film itself. Andy Serkis does, yet again, a great role at the sort of movements and the voice of Caesar. You're wearing the suit with all the little bubbles on, the movement suit, the motion capture suit again, because of course since Lord of the Rings with Gollum, that's what he's become known for, and he does this role extremely well. Caesar gets a real personality and a real sense of, well, not humanity, because obviously he's not, but of actual personality and emotion behind him. He's not just this blank ape. He's truly emotional and thoughtful, and it's just greatly well done. Also though, he works really well with Woody Harrelson in the film. Woody Harrelson plays this military colonel. He had an experience with apes in the past, and this has made him greatly hate all the intelligent apes, and now he wants to basically exterminate all apes off the face of the earth. He doesn't want it to be Planet of the Apes, he wants it to be Planet of the Humans once again. So he's now against apes, and he's trying to exterminate them all by going to war with them really badly. And it's got a big conflict in the film, and I don't want to say too much about the plot because I'll give it away, but it's extremely well done. It's well crafted, and the plot does work, especially with the previous two films. This does build up. Each film builds on the shoulders of the previous film. So this at this point is quite high, and it's just fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I would greatly recommend it, especially if you watch the other two films, Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because this will pretty much be a requirement to watch, because it was well made and fun with emotion and depth to it, and I really do recommend it. The fourth and final film that I watched in July was Dunkirk. This stars Fionn Whitehead, Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, and it was directed by Christopher Nolan. Now obviously Dunkirk is of course based on D-Day in World War II. It is a modern war film. I was a little bit apprehensive, frankly, before going into it, because I thought, well, is it going to make Dunkirk and D-Day into some sort of big especially Hollywood sort of action film, and I'm going to somehow make it sort of ridiculous, frankly, and be sort of insulting to what D-Day and Dunkirk actually means, you know, and like basically insult the memories of the people that died and fought for our modern way of life. And I was really paranoid about that. I was like, please don't say they're going to, you know, basically be insulting to everybody. Thankfully, that was not the case. I am really grateful to say that, because that's what I was so scared of that. I mean, it just would have been awful if it was. Just, you know, just in really bad taste and terrible. That's not, though. This is the sort of war film you'd want. It's not like older war films, you know, like Battle on the River Plate or the older D-Day films, for instance, them sort of things. It's a modern version, but you still think back to them. I mean, I like those sort of older war films, or some of them anyway. This has got sort of elements of those old war films, but it's also very modern. It's extremely well filmed, you know, cinematography is fantastic. You know, all the angles and the lighting is extremely good. The performances are also really strong, and it's more like a vignette of little scenes of various different characters trying to basically survive Dunkirk and D-Day. You know, you've got soldiers from Dunkirk trying to get away from the German army, trying to get basically onto ships and get back to England. You've got the Kenneth Branagh character, who is a British commander, and he's trying to sort of organise the masses of men getting on the ships and trying to organise the ships as well. You've got people on the ships coming over from England, you know, all the little pleasure ships coming over to try and sort of help evacuate whoever they could. And you've also got Tom Hardy as a RAF pilot trying to basically essentially protect everybody that was on the beaches, because of course there's some horrible instances multiple times of planes obviously doing strafing runs and mowing people down the beaches, which was frankly horrific. This does it all with in good taste. You know, it does it with a certain homage to D-Day. It's not trying to glorify it, make it into some sort of like, you know, this was some sort of fantastic thing to be part of. This wasn't. Dunkirk was bloody awful. Obviously, you know, I mean, tons of people died, and before and after as well. So this is not a nice event. And it's not trying to make it out so it's a nice event. It's trying to say that these people died, and for what we now have. And this is an example of some of the sorts of things that happened. And I just really liked it. And frankly, it's one of the few films that this year I watched that actually I felt quite emotional as I watched it, because, I mean, especially as my granddad was involved in World War II as well. He was actually a butcher, so think of Dad's Armin Jones from that. He was that kind of role in World War II, admittedly, but still, I obviously have that connection still anyway, regardless. And yeah, it just makes you think, it really does, about what people done in World War II and how that's affected us now. You know, I mean, the fact that I can sit here with a big pile of books behind me, casually just talking about films in front of a camera, and if things hadn't happened like Dunkirk in World War II, I wouldn't be sitting here now. At least it wouldn't be me anyway, it'd be somebody different. So yeah, I really like this film and it is well worth seeing. However, you do need to have an understanding of what Dunkirk is, what, you know, the whole D-Day sort of basis is, and have a little bit of idea of the history of World War II. Not anything in depth, just understand what it is. For instance, my nieces and nephews, they wouldn't appreciate this film, and I know they aren't going to be seeing it because it'd be meaningless to them. It wouldn't matter to them because they don't understand things to do with World War II. They're too young for it. So you do need to be a certain age and have a certain knowledge of the world to understand this film. Frankly, as long as you've got that, then you will like this film, and it'll be well worth watching. Although, yeah, it might upset people though, because even I felt emotional, which for me is unusual. I don't normally get emotional by films. Anyway, that is the last of the films that I saw in July. If you've seen any of these films or you would like to see any of them, then please let me know. and we can have a conversation in the comments below. All my social media links and anything else relevant I'll link in the description box below. I mean, that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another day. Bye for now.